Family, what's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much for joining me on today's broadcast. It is April 1st. I was thinking about having some sort of April Fool's joke, but I kind of ran out of time. I was thinking about doing something silly, but we're in the month of April, a couple days away from A-Day. I appreciate you guys from being here. Just 10 more days and we'll have A-Day. These two quarterbacks getting ready to go head-to-head. To see who can take a step forward for the quarterback position. I appreciate you guys rocking with me this morning. Today's program, we're going to discuss some of Coach Kalen DeBoer's comments. He spoke to Chris Lowe recently, one of the most tenured writers in college football, kind of detailed where he's at right now going into year 3. And I thought one of the most interesting sound bites from that article was the fact that he's standing on his ground. He's like, look, I'm not going anywhere. And we are where we need to be at this point in time. And I posted this not too long ago on the Facebook channel, just a quick little pull quote. And man, people are just, it's amazing to me kind of still how people feel about Coach Kalen DeBoer. And I think the only thing that can really rectify that is winning, right? Winning a large amount of games. So we're going to kind of detail that. This morning, if you caught Wake Up Bama, I discussed the quarterbacks. I'll hit a little bit on that. I know that everybody can't see every single video. There's a lot of you out there. So I'm going to talk about the quarterbacks a little bit. Alabama back in practice today. They practice today, and then they have a big scrimmage on Friday. This scrimmage will be at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And we'll see where we're at, and maybe we'll take some calls on the back end of the show. If not, we'll take some calls another time. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for being active inside the comment box. I really appreciate you guys, and we'll do some shout-outs here in a moment. But I do have to say also that the show is sponsored by Prize Picks, all right? So Prize Picks, we got to welcome them on board. They jumped on board, and we are very excited to have Prize Picks as our show sponsor and the sponsor of this YouTube channel. So the new user offer, number one, you have to download the app, okay? So you got to download the app, and very easy to do. And here's kind of the deal, right? You get $5, right? And you get $50 instantly. So load up while you can right now, right before March Madness. And I'm going to show you my picks for, or my lineup rather, for the Final Four, which is upcoming. And by the way, my bracket is at the top of the list. So you're going to definitely want to check that out. But play $5, get $50 instantly when you go to Prize Picks and download the app. And this is very important. The promo code for all of this is HMA. HMA, you'll see it kind of at the bottom of the screen down below, but HMA for Prize Picks, lineups, picks, entries, projections, more or less. It is really fun app to use. I definitely use it, and I think that you guys will enjoy using Prize Picks. So definitely get used to using Prize Picks this season. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. So we appreciate Prize Picks, and I appreciate you guys supporting Prize Picks who support me right here on the YouTube channel. And I appreciate you guys for being active inside the comment box. As mentioned, and what we're going to discuss today is a little bit about what Coach Kalen DeBoer was discussing as he spoke to Chris Lowe recently. And I think that anytime you have Coach Kalen DeBoer speak to somebody kind of on the national platform, it always makes my ears perk up. And it kind of reminds me of where we're at right now going into year 3 with Coach Kalen DeBoer. So here are kind of some of the items that they discuss. And if you want to read the article, I believe On3 has it. So go look up Chris Lowe. He does a fantastic job. I mean, this guy had a hotline to Coach Saban. So he's one of the most trusted college football reporters in all of the land. And I think one of some of the takeaways from this interview was the fact that DeBoer shut down kind of like the noise. And he's explaining, he's like, coaching, there's going to be noise everywhere that you go, right? That's just how it is. That's just how the game is. Talked about the quarterback battle and how it continues to heat up between Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. Spoke about the run game and said, look, the run game is priority number 1. That is an area that we have to improve on, and I think that's an obvious, so we'll hit on that a little bit. The portal strategy, I think that Coach Kalen DeBoer did a good job in the transfer portal. I think a lot of people feel maybe different about that because they didn't get or spend the most money. But I do like the way they went at the transfer portal, so we'll touch on that a little bit as well. And the defense, right? I mean, the defense is ready to be dominant, and they are dominant, and I think that's kind of the biggest reason that Alabama comes out, guns blazing this coming season. And then the final point is the program kind of turning the corner. And I was thinking about that as well. It's like turning the corner. I mean, look, I asked you yesterday. I was like, is it a bigger year than his first year here, this third year? I don't know. I mean, I like to think about it. It's like, where is the program turning? Did it turn when he first got here? I think so. But, like, what does that mean? So those are kind of the show topics that we'll discuss today. And then, of course, we will also talk about the quarterback room right here and kind of detail the quarterbacks as they go in to their next scrimmage, which will be on Friday at Bryant-Denny Stadium. So thank you so much for being inside the comment box. I want to see who showed up today and give you guys a little shout outs, and let me kind of get that on the screen and say good morning to everybody. So I appreciate you guys as usual for showing up during our Wednesday show. I can't believe that we are already in the month of April. I really can't. I was anticipating March to go a lot slower, but it really didn't. It seemed like spring break just kind of came and went. And then after that, we just kind of found ourselves, covering some spring football. And now we are kind of moving past April. I mean, April is an active month because we have A-Day. We got the Morgan Wallen concert. Is anybody going to the Morgan Wallen concert, by the way? I don't think I heard from you guys if you guys are going to the Morgan Wallen concert, right? And then I got my daughter's play on the back end of April as well. And then May, and then school, right? Crazy, right? Absolutely wild. So, let's see who's on the program. We have Antoine. What's up, Antoine? Good to see you, bro. I really appreciate you being here, man. We have Bruce. Good to see you, man. We have Ryan Paris, 1990. What's going on, man? Thank you very much for being here. We also have Broderick. Good to see you, Broderick. Thank you very much, bro. Good to see you, man. Hope to see you at one of the next workouts. Antoine, what's good, man? Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys for showing up. Max Tuning, good to see you, man. Good morning. Love that you're on the show each and every day. Jarvis, what's up, man? These Wake Up Bamas have been on point. Thank you so much, man. The Wake Up Bama, it's dedication. I wait till the evening time to do it because if any kind of news has slid in the day, I want to make it. And man, it's tough to have that consistency and performance to put a podcast or to have a live show every single day. So that's always kind of a challenge. And I always run into like technical issues. Last night, truth be told, I did Wake Up Bama. In the first 10 minutes of my show, I had my microphone turned off. So I was like, oh my goodness. So I had to recut it. So I appreciate that, man. Thanks for noticing. I know not a lot of people watch the podcast and not a lot of people watch my shows or whatever, but I feel if I can continue to be consistent, then, maybe that is kind of where I want to be. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Bruce Williams, thank you so much for being here on the show. I appreciate you. Georgie Boy, thanks for being up in the channel as well. Army3275, thank you for the super chats yesterday. Appreciate you, man. That was awesome for you coming with it. I think you super chatted $30 if I'm not mistaken. Cody, what's up, man? Hopefully your mom's doing okay. Do we have an update? I know yesterday you were driving down to Dothan because she was having eye surgery. Do we have a status update? Let us know if she's doing okay. Brock, RTR, man, what's up? Appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for kicking it with us inside the comment box. Miss Nicole Covington, good morning to you. I really appreciate you for waking up this morning with us. Robert Bradley Jr., what's good, man? Happy Wednesday to you. I appreciate you being inside the comment box. Herman, what's up? Good morning to you as well, Herman. Herman's been on the show for a long time. Let's see who else we got up in here. We got Brock. I think we got Chris G. We got J. Cole. J. Cole, you got a spiritual message for us, bro? There you go. Right on cue, bro. He says, God bless you. Jesus Christ be with everybody. Love and peace. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Always appreciate the spiritual messages from our good boy, J. Cole. And Rocketown says, we'll just say good morning to you, Rocketown. All right, man. So, all right. let's get to the show. And again, thank you so much. If you could take a minute and hit the thumbs up. And also remember to support our sponsor, which is Prize Picks. Play $5, get $50 instantly when you use the promo code, which is HMA. So, all right, with that said, and do you guys like the layout? I'm always playing with different things, right? So it's like I started kind of messing with this and kind of this layout, because this is something I didn't even know I could do this. And then I have like the topics kind of on the screen because I can stand during my shows. I can sit, I can stand, whatever. Do you like this look? I like it. It kind of, and I feel when I'm standing, I feel like it's a little bit more active. I don't know why. It just, that's kind of, so I think I might mess around with this. I'm always doing different things, but consider this a new kind of look that we'll go to from time to time. Okay, so DeBoer, in this article, he talked about shutting down the noise. And what does that mean? Well, can you imagine taking over for the greatest, not even the greatest college coach? I'm talking about the greatest coach ever. Yeah, I said that. I think that out of all the coaches, football, basketball, whatever coach, and there's been, let's say there's like a top 100 of the greatest, that would be a great ESPN feature, right? Is the top 100 greatest coaches. And look, if you coach at middle school, high school, wherever it is, we all love coaches, right? And probably a lot of our parents were coaches, so we understand that. But like, I think Coach Saban is the greatest coach ever. So whoever took over him was going to face noise, and he continues to face noise. I'm always surprised by even the small stuff that I have and the things that I show. Man, people are always inside the comment box. There's at least 5 to 10 negative messages. For every 20, it's like 50%, right? And to be able to, and let me ask you, and you don't necessarily live, and maybe you do. Maybe you have a YouTube platform or TikTok or whatever it is. But how do you think about this? How do you deal with criticism? How do you deal with it? How does it affect you? Are you as a person? Because everybody goes through adversity, but not everybody gets criticism, because you might not be in that line of work where you get criticism. You might not, and that's fine. But how do you deal with it? How do you deal with people literally saying negative things about you on the internet? You think, everybody has a phone. Everybody's always reading the news, right? How do you deal with that? And sometimes it can definitely be constructive, and other times people just aren't going to like you. But when you take over a job like DeBoer did, can you imagine I just think that we have to give him a lot of credit, and maybe he's tougher than we think he is because he can block out a lot of that. It never stops, and it's never going to, right? That's why it's better to be the coach after DeBoer if that ever happens, because that coach is going to be compared to DeBoer rather than being compared to the GOAT, right? He said that there's noise when he was, throughout his coaching career. There's always been noise, and he's always had that ability to block it out. So, look, you might not like DeBoer. You might think he's ice cream. You might think he's boring. I think he's boring. But maybe that toughness is kind of being able to block out kind of all those external factors and be able to focus just on this football team and focus on development and focus on winning as many games as possible, right? So I love that. And I think that shows toughness, in my opinion. Now, with the quarterback battle, I had, if you caught my Wake Up Bama, my entire segment was about the quarterbacks. Did anybody catch that? I think Jarvis did, and maybe a couple of you as well. And I talked about the quarterback specifically, just how the offense would look under each quarterback. And I thought it was pretty cool to think about what each quarterback could bring if they are running the offense. And DeBoer is not going to give a lot in terms of where the quarterbacks are at on kind of a hierarchy. And I don't think that it really, like, we can talk about it and we can assume and we can wonder. But with Coach Kalen DeBoer, I don't think that the head football coach has honestly had enough time to figure out which quarterback is going to be the best for this team. How many practices did they have? Like less than 10? And you're going to tell me he's going to go out and be like, that's the guy for the quarterback position. That's impossible. But I think when you look to these quarterbacks and the elements that they bring, number one, they all have size. They have a little bit more experience now because at least the older two have been here, right? This last year, I think, was a critical year to be here with Ryan Grubb as the offensive coordinator. And I'll hit on this briefly again, and you can watch the full take on Wake Up Bama. But if Austin Mack is to be the quarterback here, I think you should. Immediately, I think it's an offense that is very structured. I think an offense that is dangerous. I think an offense that is consistent. And as long as the offense under Austin Mack doesn't turn the football over and they get some protection for him, I think the Alabama offense is going to be very good. Now, on the other side of the coin, I think with Keelan Russell, if he's able to get the job and he's able to be the quarterback, I would imagine that you get a lot of explosive plays. And you're like, well, won't you get those explosives with Austin Mack? Well, yeah, you will. But I think there's a different element with Keelan Russell, and I think we can all understand what we're talking about. It's that playmaking ability to where if he's coming off a bootleg, if he has to make somebody miss, if it's an RPO, if he has to make some sort of the decision and he's got someone downfield, he has an ability to just do something that a lot of quarterbacks can't do. And some quarterbacks just have it, and we feel that Keelan Russell does. So I feel that the offense with Keelan Russell might be a little bit more unpredictable, but I think it might be a little bit more explosive. And look, these quarterbacks are going to have to limit turnovers, period. And that's what it might come down to, because I think Austin Mack generates points. Keelan Russell generates points. Which quarterback takes care of the football the most? And looking at the quarterbacks below these two, Jet Tamala and Tatum Kahua on the bottom, and just being honest with you, I do not think that those quarterbacks will be here for long. I don't. I think that they'll be in development here, but I think when you kind of look to the other quarterbacks that are coming in and you look to the fact that Keelan Russell is going to be here for 2 years, I don't think a guy like Jet Tamala is going to wait around. And I think by the time that Jet Tamala might be ready to play, Elijah Haven will already be in development. And we're going to go through the same thing. And you also got Trent Seaborn and whoever else jumps on board. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to have quarterbacks. I mean, we're just going to have quarterbacks, that aren't on the board are going to play here, and that's probably Elijah Haven whenever he does commit. Now, if he doesn't commit to Alabama, then Jet Tamala is probably your guy, and I wouldn't sleep on him. I really wouldn't. And Tatum Kahua throws a damn good ball as well, but you just got a lot of quarterbacks here. But would you guys agree with that, or am I off? Do you feel like Alabama's offense under Austin Mack will be explosive in ways that is like more consistent and structured? But with Keelan Russell, he's such a wild card because of his playmaking ability that it might be way more explosive. And I think you kind of wonder, like, which offense would be similar to 2023 with the quarterback? I think it would probably be Austin Mack. But I think it even gets more elevated if you put Keelan Russell there when he's fully ready to be the guy. Now, you got to have receivers catch the ball. You got to have running backs hit the hole. You know what I'm saying? You got to have offensive line. And a lot of the time I think we forget about that 2023 Washington team, that their offensive line won the Joe Moore Award. So think about that. Do you feel, and that's another thing. Do we feel that this Alabama offensive line is the best offensive line in the country? I don't think we don't even know the starters yet. So not only did you have Michael Penix Jr., you also had the top offensive line in the country, and you had some incredible wide receivers. But the quarterback competition continues to heat up, and I think what I want to see on Friday from these quarterbacks at Bryant-Denny Stadium is explosives and limiting turnovers. I had heard that a quarterback threw an interception during the scrimmage. I never found out who that was, so I never really followed up on it. But, turnovers will kill you, clearly. Which quarterbacks limits mistakes? And even in the small opportunities that we saw from these quarterbacks last season, I don't know if there was very many mistakes or opportunities for them to even make mistakes. But can you imagine when a quarterback does make a mistake? Oh, my goodness. We're going to harp on that like never before, right? So you all know the run game is a priority, and this is Coach Kalen DeBoer talking to Chris Lowe, and he was talking about the running game being a priority. I also saw there was another article out there, I think it was AL.com, was talking about Alabama's running back room. It looks to be a running back by committee. But is there anybody on here inside the comment box that thinks that if Daniel Hill starts showcasing high level of play, that Alabama might just have one running back be the main guy? It's fun to think about, and I think he could, but I don't think that he necessarily has to, because I think Alabama's running backs are just that good this year. Okay, simple yes or no inside the comment box. Do you already get the feeling that Alabama's running backs are better this year than last year? And they haven't even carried the football. But you kind of get the sense that the quarterbacks are better this year. Yes or no? I would say yes. They're all the running backs had a year last year. I don't think any running back is really going down. 833 says no. I don't know, 833. I just feel that year that they had makes them better. They look more explosive. You got to think that Daniel Hill, how about this, 833? Don't you think that Daniel Hill looks more explosive? Oh, 833 said yes. All right. All good, bro. See, and Ryan brings up this point. He's like, look, these guys were here last year, and they were 1,000th in running. I hear that. But Ryan, like I said, I was talking to 833. Don't they at least look more explosive? I have never, but then again, on the other side of the coin, I've never seen like Alabama running backs not look explosive, right? Have we ever been here looking at the small practice that we see and be like, man, these guys look like trash? They all look good at practice, right? Hey, Mo Sleep, what's up, bro? How's the farm? Mo Sleep is on a farm. Isn't that amazing? Is anyone else on a farm out here? And Ryan points out kind of the number one thing, too, is like the offensive line plays such a huge role, not only into the running game, but also to the quarterbacks, right? Man, that's why I said one time, I was like, Adrian Clem has the most pressure out of anybody. Imagine just taking over this job and be like, yo, you got to fix this offensive line, man. The whole world depends on you. See, Tyler's got a small farm. All right. Anybody else living the farm life? Army has an ant farm. Dano's on a farm. Okay. All right, Dano. Dano's on a farm. Mo Sleep. Anyone else on a farm? Tyler's on a farm. Are these farms like in Alabama or like they somewhere else? I've never, of course I've been to farms and ranches, and I've had family, that has a ranch, but I've never really lived like that farm life. You know what I'm saying? My dad's always had, he has goats, he has chickens. The goats are hilarious. These baby goats that he has at his house they're crazy. They're so funny. A lot of personality. Chickens, geese, things like that. Farm simulator. Is that a real thing? Is there a farm simulator? Does that really exist? All right, let's see what Tyler has to say. Tyler says, yes, mine is just north of Tuscaloosa and Fett. Yo, Tyler, did I say that right? Fett? Because it's Fayette, but right? Like locals say Fett. And Daniel's in central Alabama. All right. Farm living is life. Yeah, that's what's up. Okay. So if you just joined the show, here are kind of some of the topics that we're going over. And then we started talking about kind of farm life. We talk about a variety of topics here on Bama Football on YouTube because there's people from all over really the country and state of Alabama that are on the show. It's always amazing to me to see where people are watching the show from, right? See, Tyler, you know that I'm here, man, because Fett, bro. But a lot of the pronunciations, like here in Alabama, I'll miss on. Like the other night on the basketball show, I was asking people, I was like, where are you guys from? And they said, what'd they say? Arab? It's Arab, right? I was like, Arab. And they were like, no, it's Arab. So I was like, oh, man. And then someone was from Tallahassee. Never seen that. Never been there before. I told you guys I was just in Haleyville. Beautiful up there. Russellville, Haleyville. Melly, what's up? Where are you watching from, Melly? Dang, someone's coming to us from the Netherlands. See, that's what I'm saying. Rotterdam, the Netherlands. What time is it over there? Remember, Melly, when I was like Arab? It's Arab. Man. All right, so we talked about the running game. The portal strategy explained by DeBoer. And again, this is from kind of just recapping bullet points from that Chris Lowe article this morning. Arab. How would you say that Coach Kalen DeBoer fared in the transfer portal? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, now that you've kind of had some of the dust, settle a little bit, how would you say that DeBoer did in the transfer portal? And after hearing about how some of these guys are faring in spring football, and maybe you don't know all of it, 17:30 that's 5:30, right? Get that military time. Who's been in the Netherlands? Anybody ever been to Amsterdam? See, a lot of people don't think that DeBoer did well in the transfer portal. I don't know. I think DeBoer did well in the transfer portal. Army has it as a 5.5. I think it was a little bit higher. And I still feel that you're never really going to be able to assess the portal until we've actually played the season. But right now, from what we're hearing from the guys, I think that, like Caleb Woodson, that guy's seems like he's a great fit at the inside linebacker position, right? Seems like Devin Tompkins is turning heads. So there's two. Looks like Carmelo O'Neal, right? He's already, at least like a second-team corner. He was a transfer. Noah Rogers, he might be a starter. Who else we got? What other transfers are kind of making way? Looks like Lorcan Quinn. Looks like he's battling right now with Connor Talty. Trying to think about other Rayson Delgado, he came in here. He's a starter. Looks like Javen James is getting opportunities at the right tackle position. Nick Brooks at the guard position, maybe some tackle as well. So there's actually a lot of guys that are getting opportunities that were transfers, right? There's some other defensive linemen too. Desmond Zulu, he's there. Kevin, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Christian, what's up, man? Larry Large, good morning, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you guys joining the program. Yeah, and Ryan points out, Bama got longer, bigger, more athletic. It's amazing to me, the corners, right? The two areas that are so amazing to me is like the size of the quarterbacks and the size of the corners, right? Like, come on. We gotta have, I don't even have to look this up. There is no way in hell that there's another college program out there that has a taller quarterback room than us. There's no way. We got 5 quarterbacks that are taller than any, like our average height at quarterback. What is it? I mean, let's see. Austin Mack is 6'6". Keelan's 6'4". Jet 6'4". Tatum Kyle was 6'6". And then throw in John Gazaniga, he's 6'7". Come on. I mean, we could do that. We could add that up real quick and get an average. I'm sure it's 6'5" and a half, something like that. That's definitely the biggest quarterback room. And then the corners, man, we got 3 corners that are close to 6'4". I mean, 2 are 6'4" for sure. And then you got Jordan Edmonds as well. Yeah, 6'5". That's our average, man. That's crazy. And that's something that I don't think we had with the last regime that was here, was kind of that size at the quarterback position. Right? All right. Appreciate you guys rocking with me as well. Thank you so much for being here on the show. But I think the portal strategy for DeBoer was simply go after guys that fit the program. I thought that was so important, right? Guys that fit the program, because you don't want to get guys who come in here that are just absolutely bag chasers. And I think that bag chasers are just about themselves, and they're not good for the entire roster. So you go out and get guys that have leadership abilities. To hear a guy like Caleb Woodson is already kind of like one of the leaders on defense at inside linebackers is promising, and also a testament to the job that they did in the portal in the portal. Right? Hacker Music, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the program today. And I also think that when you look to other guys that have come in past portal guys, how have they fared here? I mean, look at, Jerry Bernard, that was a hit. Parker Brailsford, that was a hit. Josh Cuevas, that was a hit. So they have a proven track record of going to the portal and getting guys that fit, that are ready to play, and that have an impact here. Even Isaiah Horton, I guess you could consider him a bag chaser maybe, but he came in here, made an impact, and he left. I don't think, to be honest, Coach Kalen DeBoer has more hits in the transfer portal than he does misses. Can we agree on that? So whatever you think about, Keon Sabb's another guy too who transferred here. So whether or not you think they did a good job in the transfer portal, or you felt they could have spent a little bit more, whatever, I think we can all agree that there's more hits in the transfer portal under DeBoer than there are misses, which is a good thing. Okay. How good is this defense going to be? How good is this Alabama defense going to be? Do you think that this Alabama defense is going to be one of the best defenses that we've had in a while? And that might be a stretch. 2389, what's up? I see you inside the comment box. And that might be a stretch to say that this might be one of the best defenses ever here at Bama. I don't know if I go that far, but I look to the defense and I feel pretty good about where things stand with Alabama at the defensive position. And when you kind of look at it from a glance, right, and you look to a lot of the guys right now kind of on the board, this is a damn good defense. I mean, you can work your way from the bottom and kind of go up top. And I know London Simmons is out right now, but this defense is going to be nasty. And the thing about a defense that is so important is the 2 deep. You got the 2 deep. Inside linebacker room, we're still kind of figuring out if that's going to be QB Reese, who only had 47 snaps last year. But damn, this is a damn good offense, family. Really good, right? How do you guys feel about the D? You got to be excited. And Coach Kalen DeBoer is super excited about the defense. And this is the defense that I think that the main reason that, like I was saying yesterday, the main reason that Kane Womack after the season is like, see ya. This will also be a reason that Alabama beats you, right? I mean, it's going to be. Is there one starter on the board that you might that we don't have on here that you think might be a starter? So look at the board real quick. And is there one starter that you think is not a starter? Take a second. Okay, look at the board. Let's see, who would you have as not a starter right now? Okay, we got Devin Tompkins. We got Terrence Green. We got London Simmons. We got Yanzi. You got QB. You got Caleb Woodson. You got Dejan. You got Bray. You got Keon Sabb, Brad Morgan, Zay Hubbard. Or Zay Brown. Zabian Brown. DeMarco has it as a 10 defense. I love when Ryan says that, man. Ryan has Justin Hill. I talked about Justin Hill a lot, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to kind of go far. I'm glad. Okay, I got a couple people backing me up with Justin Hill. And then Dano says that Jaira will be a starter. Georgie Boy asks if Keon Keeley is still at Bama. No, he is not at Bama. He transferred to Notre Dame. Yeah. Wild, right? I would have thought he would have had a good season here, but he bounced out. Cody has Xavier Griffin will be a borderline starter. Wow. And Rex is talking about, I think you're talking about James Smith, right? His comments about Ohio State. And then I think Blake is saying that Mustard is too tall, right? Jerry Hill, what's going on, man? He says, I believe Alabama will kick ass and take names in 2026. Love it. Love to see it. Yeah, thanks for being here, brother. Yeah, appreciate it, man. All right, let's finish out, and then we'll see where we're at. And if you guys want to call in, maybe didn't get a chance to call in yesterday, you can call in today. I'll take a couple calls. The final thing is kind of the program turning the corner here at the bottom. Where is that? Over here? Yeah, right there. Program turning the corner. Okay. So I was thinking about this. I was like, okay, program turning the corner. Did the program really need to turn the corner? I mean, you kind of look to Alabama. You know that the year one was going to be bumpy. Year two, it was good. You made it to the SEC championship game, and you made it to the playoffs. Now, the nature of the losses sting, and they kind of overshadow what Alabama did. But, turning the corner, I don't know. I think Alabama's where they need to be. Now, this year is kind of like a make or break. Is this year a make or break year for DeBoer? I said yesterday on the show, if they can win 10, 11 games this year, I think next year you have a real shot to win a national championship. I don't know if this year's team is mature enough on offense to win a title, but I think next year's team could definitely win a title. But this year's defense should be good enough to make a run. I don't know. I just think that the 2027 team is going to be nasty, wicked good. So I don't know if the program needed to turn a corner, right? I think that this year we see where they're at, and then that following year, if you can make it through, I think they're wicked good. I think Bama absolutely does work for sure. We looked at the schedule yesterday as well, in case you guys missed this. These are just the first 5 games. You got East Carolina, Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Georgia. We spent some time on this yesterday, so maybe tomorrow we'll kind of do the back end of the schedule, right? And then if you guys haven't seen, we do have, and I'll bring this up real quick. This is just a little small commercial break header that I have. But I'm working on, and this is always in development, but you can see BamaFootballRoster.com. And so if you're looking for just like the actual roster, and I created a site that you're going to see in about 2 seconds to where it has roster cards. And like I said, it's still in development, so there's not a lot of – I mean, there are updates constantly, but it's still kind of in the developmental process. So here's kind of what it looks like. You can go through, and it's very interactive. You can click on like the player cards, and you can check it out. It's very cool. I'll show you a quick run through right now. I got to work on a couple things today on it. I'm always working on the site, but you can click on the player card, and you have specific updates. Like, just to give you a quick idea, you can click on like Daniel Hill, and if you click on you can see like the latest news on the player, right? You can sort it by quarterbacks. You can sort it by running backs, right? And then you also, we have kind of a depth chart tool that you can play around with for the depth chart. So BamaFootballRoster.com, it's still in development. This is something that I am developing myself. So this is not like the official site or anything. It's just literally like a fan's look at a website. I've never built a website before. I also have depth chart fan builder. So if you click the depth chart right here, you can actually put your own depth chart in. So just select your quarterback, click here first, click here, and then click like Keelan Russell. Click here, go to your running backs, and click Crowell, right? And you can build it out, all right? So check it out. It's something that I'm still in development. I mean, I'm working right now on kind of the news stories. And this is something I'm still trying to build out. It's tough because there's always something that, I need to develop. Like right now, like Rex is pointing out, there needs to be stuff on QB Reese. So I'm going to write that down and go into, that and see if I can fix it. But it's development, right? It's always about, figuring out things. And like I said, I've never built a website, so I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys check it out. And, have fun with it. So I'll be back in 1 minute, and then we'll take some calls. If you guys want to call in the show, call, and we'll have a good time. So don't go anywhere. Be right back on Bama Football on YouTube. We'll take your guys' calls here in about 2 minutes. Family, have you subscribed to Bama Football on YouTube? Bama Football on YouTube, live every day at 10 a.m. Central Time, or as news happens. Bama Football on YouTube also has a podcast at 4 a.m. Central Time. Just kidding. It's me behind the scenes. All right. Be right back. I'll take your calls in just a minute. All right, family, we are back on Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you very much for being patient. I appreciate you guys for kicking it with me on this beautiful Wednesday, April 1st. All right, so the call-in line is on the screen right here. It's 205-850-1994. That is the number to call in to the show. And it looks like we have Cody from Crestview. Cody, the cliffhanger. up on deck. Please show him some support inside the comment box, and let's take Cody's call. And call line is open 205-850-1994. And coming to you from Crestview, Florida, the one, the only, Cody, the Cliffhanger. Cody, what's up, bro?
Hey, Kyle. How about you?
Good to have you on the show, man. How's your mom, bro?
Good. She's able to see a lot better than she usually is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a great update.
The surgery went well, and she was able to see, and she's happy about that.
Ooh, yeah, love it. So, good update, man. Thanks for updating us on moms, and glad she can see a little bit better. And what's up with you, man? How did the month of March treat you?
So I'm just ready for football because I'm just ready for Alabama football. I really want all these other teams to suffer.
Yeah. Who do you want to suffer the most?
Easy. Indiana. They're the reigning defending champions. I want all of them guys to suffer because guess what? You beat us down and gave us only 3 or 7 points.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, you guys need y'all lost Mendoza and the backup quarterback, which was his brother, went to Georgia. So now, in other cases, you're screwed. Who's your quarterback? I mean, you only got Cooks and Eddie. Everybody else that you had is now in the NFL draft. I know you got Nick Marsh from Michigan State, but how is that going to help you?
Yeah.
Indiana, it's a thing. That's a big regression. Oregon is going to be a big regression, like I said probably on yesterday's stream, Kyle.
Yeah.
And same with Texas. They're going to have a regression because guess what? I still think Arch Manning sucks. And there's people out there that want him for next year's NFL draft.
Yeah.
At number 1 draft pick. I don't know why. Because he ain't worth it. He ain't worth being a number 1 draft. So that's that 2 parts. But for today's stream, I was thinking what you were talking about with your topics with the running backs is a priority.
Yeah.
I think right now our running backs is better than last year's.
Mm-hmm.
What we need to actually be focused right now is just basically offensive line and wide receiver room. Our wide receiver room is good, but it's not. It's really, really good. But I think right now our offensive line is the biggest question mark because we don't know who the starter is. We already know that Grayson Delgado is our center, and then we got Michael Kill at right tackle, and Jackson. Is it Jackson Lloyd? Not Jackson Lloyd.
You got Jackson Lloyd at left tackle. Mm-hmm.
Left, yeah. So basically, they're hitting out 3 people that might be already set where they're at.
Yeah.
But it's just all that stuff. But I just came onto the show and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hang with Kyle for a few minutes of my time.
Love
it. Just we us Bama fans, we really just need to know we got one of the greatest podcasts over here is Bama football.
Oh, thank you, Cody. Appreciate it, bro.
In other cases, it's for you, Kyle. We do really appreciate all that content you put out because that stuff goes a long way.
Yeah, thank you, Cody. I really appreciate that, brother.
So I forgot all the other points you were talking about with Alabama football with you guys. I think
they're on I got them on the screen for you right there, Cody. If you want to check it out, probably a couple seconds it'll show up on your side.
Okay. And so I still think quarterback room. Look, I don't mind either one of them. It's just that they have for the offensive guys, they have to be who do they gravitate to as a leader? Yeah. All of them are great leaders, no question. But the only thing is, who knows the offense? Who sleeps and eat and repeat that same process that they've been instituted into. For like Austin Mack already knows the system, so he's already went to bed and wake up and knows the system. Keelan is getting there too. So I think right now it's too hard to tell. Right now, another team that's actually coming up in the who's actually a good team for the SEC, Kyle, is Kentucky. Because Kentucky has Will Stein from Oregon. Will Stein is a quarterback coach. He loves quarterbacks. So Kentucky is going to have, a kind of, we don't have an easy game like used to as Alabama players, because Kentucky has elevated the brand because of Will Stein. Vandy has regressed because of Pavia, So Tennessee, I don't know what Tennessee's up to. Yeah. Tennessee's offensive side, I don't know what they're going to do. Just like Ole Miss. Ole Miss may be regressed because this Trinidad Chandler stuff and everything else, they might regress because I don't know who the backup quarterback is. I don't know if he's going to do any good. So, I still think people that cover football for this year, their heads are way out of proportion right now. It's way too early to tell who's actually going to be a big time surprise. So in other cases, we'll just see how it rides. Right now, I'm still betting on Alabama with that Texas A&M game because I want to beat these pussies up. I want to beat them A&M guys up because they don't deserve. You know what? They are a Big Ten team, that Texas A&M team. I'd rather have Texas Tech in the SEC than Texas A&M. So Texas A&M, go to the Big Ten. Thank you, Kyle. Have a great day.
All right, man. Take it easy, brother. All right, Cody calling in from Crestview. He doesn't like Cody. The one team that Cody definitely doesn't like is A&M. They just really upset him. All right, we got let's see. I think we got Ty, but I think it. Let's see, 816. Hey, good morning.
Yeah, Kyle,
it's Ty, right?
Yeah, it's Tyson. Yep.
Tyson.
Like Mike Tyson or Tyson Chicken.
Yeah, all right, Tyson Chicken. Where are you calling out of, Tyson?
I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm the other truck driver, but I've been away for a while from the show because I got a new job and training and all that stuff.
Tell us about
I'm
your
local now.
Tell us about.
I'll be able to see my family every day.
Tell us about your new job.
Yeah, I work for R&L. It's LTL, which is less than truckload. So I'm home every day. Just drive to Atlanta from Huntsville, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I drive at night. So I'll be going to bed right after I get done talking for a minute.
Okay. Yeah, and well, that's good. We always celebrate new jobs, new things here. So I'm excited for you, Tyson. I appreciate you, man. And thanks for calling out of Huntsville. Love Huntsville. And welcome on in, man. Welcome on in, Tyson, the show. Go ahead, brother.
Me too, bro. Hey, I usually I got a prayer request today.
Yeah.
My heart's real heavy. We own a coffee roastery in Huntsville, Rooster's Crow Coffee Roastery, and I don't talk about it much and never have talked to you about it with the channel or anything because it's just, I drive a truck. When the virus happened, I had to step out. My kids, I have 3 teenagers that work it, and I got 2 adult managers that help me manage it, and I've got 10 employees. But it's not enough to provide for the family. When the virus happened, I needed all my retirement's wrapped up in it and stuff. But the band prayer request is one of my managers, she does payroll. She was at work yesterday, and she had a stroke.
Oh,
and my 16-year-old son was right there beside her. And my 20-year-old son was in the cafe in the eating area, so my son called my wife, and my wife, rolled over there real quick, and they had already called 911, and they got her to the hospital. She was bad shape before, and so thank God, praise God, she's fully functioning, got her speech back, and she's stayed overnight in the hospital. But we just want to pray for a quick recovery for her. She's a cancer survivor, so 13 years, stage 4 cancer survivor, and we just love her like crazy. And so if we can lift up Shonda Ogletree in our prayers, and that's really what's heavy on my heart. But you guys are fam, and I've missed y'all, and I pray for y'all and everybody else's prayer requests. And Kyle, you're doing an incredible job with the show. I mean, I love all the creativity you got. It's fun. That show yesterday was fun. All the backdrops you were throwing in the background and standing up. It was cool. I mean, I really appreciate you. And I wanted to talk about. I know this wasn't one of the topics, but the defense guy that we just hired from Oklahoma. We talked about what would we do if Womack maybe went to be a head coach somewhere, and I kind of think that analyst, he's a hot hire, and we just think we can't forget who he's been working with, Brett over there, Oklahoma, and all this mentorship going on there. Not to mention he's an analyst, and he's coming over to work on staff with us. And so, I mean, it's just good to have a guy like that. I love that Alabama is really good about hiring analysts, and maybe that's some mentoring going on. Never know, but I like it, and I just think it's going to make our defense even nastier. So I'm excited about that. And then, I still am a Mac fan. I think Austin's going to start. Love Keelan, and I think Keelan's going to be amazing and probably be a number 1 draft pick one day in the NFL. But I think Austin Mack he's gonna shine, and we're gonna be really happy with him next year. Just really, really, I think the team. If I'm worrying about a team, like I would probably, Kirby Smart, Georgia, man, you never know. I think he likes not being talked about. I don't know if I could ever count them on the down and down. Yeah. But definitely I would be worried about I'd be worried about South Carolina also. Like South Carolina is a sneaky game. But in Kentucky, I think we need to stay level headed with that. But the guy that said yesterday that he believed we could have a national championship, I believe we can too, and I think the only thing that would stop us from it is injuries. Injuries that's the only thing that would prevent us from getting there. So we play the gauntlet. We get banged up. So anyway, but I love our team. I love what you do. I love the community you're building. I'm praying for your family, your finances, and your friendships, and your tight circle. And we just gotta lift each other up.
Sounds good, Tyson. Appreciate you, brother. We'll pray for you, man. Thank you so much for calling in, man.
God bless you, man. Bye.
All right. So, Tyson, so prayers up for Tyson and his worker, Shonda, Miss Shonda, as she kind of recovers from her stroke, and also for his kids, who are there to be there. And thankfully there was people around to be kind of first responders and make sure that she's kind of on her recovery. It reminds me of how important it is to be a first responder. And I think I shared with you a couple years ago, and this isn't any way to turn this on me, but I just think that it's important that if you see somebody that is going through something, it's the best thing to do is, at least in my opinion, and look, every situation I guess is different, but look, you got to help people. And I see a lot of people just kind of pulling out their phones and stuff like that. But there was a lady, I was here in Tuscaloosa. This has happened a couple years ago. And she went into, she started having a seizure. It was at Jalapenos here in Tuscaloosa, going out towards Lake Tuscaloosa. Anybody familiar with that area? And I was there. I was a first responder. I was sitting up at the bar with my girlfriend at the time, and turned around, and we put her on, we laid her out right there on the floor, and I started doing CPR on her. And I had just taken a CPR class, I don't know, like 5 or 6 months before that. And where I was able to bring her back, and it extended her life probably about a year, whatever it was, and she also had cancer. So, and I went to her services not too long ago. She passed away, but I think if you're willing and you're able, you got to help people. So Tyson, we'll keep her in our prayers and keep us posted. And congratulations on the new job. I think he was the best point that Tyson brought up was talking about the defensive assistant from Oklahoma, right? Trent Simpson. And I think if we know anything about Oklahoma, we know that that's a team built on defense, right? As a team, and specifically getting after the quarterback. So I think that him coming over here and kind of rubbing elbows with Kane and Freddie Roach and the other defensive coaches that we have here, that seems very positive. Because that, you know what? That's the one area that the defense needs to improve on. So a lot of times it feels that Kalen DeBoer is very proactive in exactly what we need to like fix. For example, like, okay, offensive line issue, fire that guy, bring in another guy. Another example was the safeties. We didn't really feel that they were tightened up. Fire him and bring in someone else from the secondary and kind of make, Mo Lindquist the secondary guy and then move Kane Womack to just the defensive coordinator for everything rather than just the inside linebackers, right? And elevate Chuck Morrell. In this particular case, how can we get better in terms of getting after the quarterback? Well, you go after Trent Simpson from Oklahoma. So I've seen him, we needed a kicker. Went after Graham Nicholson. The kicker wasn't doing his best this past year. Go out to the transfer portal. You see what I'm saying? Coach Kalen DeBoer doesn't get enough credit for being proactive after the things that need absolute fixing. Now, the biggest question is how will he assess and kind of self-scout, as Ryan's saying, his own offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, after this year? Because if Grubb can't get it done, that will be the first time that those two might not be kind of eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? And that will be a big moment for Kalen DeBoer. Because if we go into this season, we just know that the offensive coordinator is the issue, what will DeBoer do? Hopefully that's not it. Hopefully that's not the case. But that's kind of the show today. So thank you so much for kicking it with me today. I really appreciate you guys being here on the program and hanging out with me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And if you caught Wake Up Bama this morning, thank you very much for checking it out. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me in the morning time. I know I'm not live during that point in time, but you guys still showing support for me on the show goes a long way. And then also live at 10 a.m. Thank you so much. You have practice today. So practice photos, maybe some footage from the University of Alabama. And then on Friday, Alabama will have a practice, which is really a scrimmage at Bryant-Denny Stadium. So news as it happens, back with more videos. You can stay with our Facebook channel. You can check out the Bama football roster page for just the roster and kind of watch that website in its development, and I'll put it inside the comment box if you haven't seen it yet. It's in its very infancy stage, so be easy, on the website and just kind of poke around. But you can look at the roster. You can look at a couple news stories that have been kind of in beta mode and the depth chart, which I think is really cool. And I'm going to work on a couple other things that need to be addressed with the website, throughout, the next couple of weeks. I don't think all of these things are never finished, right? It's always kind of a work in progress. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for being here. Stay blessed. Stay close to God. If you're going through something, we're praying for you guys as always. And thank you very much for joining my show today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Wednesday, April 1st. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. See you, family.